And here is today's workshop with Anoop Kumar.
Thank you everyone for joining the call. Today we will deep dive into create chatbot with the Azure OpenAI using external data source. That external data source either is it's a text file, PDF file, or either it can be blob storage, or either it can be a Azure AI search, or either say URL based. So I'll explore a couple of different data source and then see the different example and the use cases. So let me go to the next agenda of this today's session. Okay, just a minute. It's moving. So agenda, I'll just brief about the introduction of AI, then the revolution of generative AI. Then I'll discuss about the principle of responsible AI. That is the most important part actually. Uh, we are how we can compliance with that responsible AI. If we are deploying the Azure AI services, there might be a risk and mitigation that we can use. And what Azure AI services are available, which we can use through Azure. And this is Retrieval-Augmented Generation. That is RAG. Actually, that is we called to generate how we can uh, use the Azure AI services or OpenAI services to get the user input through the different data sources. So that is all called about the RAG, which I am going to discuss through this, and I'll show you some demo. In demo part, these are some introduction part. After in demo, what I'll do, I'll deploy the Azure AI services and ChatGPT model via Terraform. I have the code in Terraform as well. And then once that is deployed, how we can access that is from portal, uh, and how we can access the OpenAI via Azure OpenAI Studio. And then we will create a chatbot using the OpenAI and external data source and see the different example and use cases. If the time permit, then we'll discuss more about the all the use cases and the features by a Python SDK as well. I have the code. If the time allow, then I'll discuss about other example as well, natural language, prompt engineering, and code generation, image generation, and with our data. So these are my agenda today. So let's begin with the introduction of the artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence actually is just like a human-like capability, and there are different form of the use case like visual perception, like where we use our face recognition and the text analytics, where actually we have particular article where we can get the abstraction of the data, summarize the data, and we can get the input as well. And there is a translation survey through that. We can convert from different language as well. Speech services that also helpful, like that also recognize the speech to text, text to speech, or even we can create the custom model as well with the help of this. And decision making, that is also important, that document intelligence is the part of, or anomaly detector, like through that we can actually detect some abnormal things in the data, and even we can get the data from different type of sources like invoice, or maybe different data card, credit cards we can use. So that we can fetch the details as well. There are different form of Azure AI, AI, artificial intelligence. I'll discuss in detail in the next slide. So I just want to just go through the revolution of the generative AI. Generative AI actually it came in 2020. Before that, it was we had deep learning model as well in 2010. Through that, is a part of machine learning model, and through that we are using machine learning techniques, and through that different layer of neural network that process the data and make the decision. So initially it was started in 1950, artificial intelligence, just part of computer science, and then seek to create the intelligence machines. And then in 1990 is the machine learning camps, and in 2010 is deep learning. Then 2020 we are era of generative AI now, with that different model of generative AI now available in the market. So I'll explore mostly on openAI models. These data I have kept it taken from the Microsoft site. So if you want, I can give the reference as well. So let's move on to the next slide. This is very important slide actually. What is the principle of responsible AI? Because when we are deploying the Azure, deploying the AI services, we should be responsible what it actually doing and what is it affecting. So I'll discuss about each of the one. Let's um, so I'll discuss about each of the there are different uh, parameters and different responsible principle are there. So like first one is fairness, where actually that whatever the system we are building, that should not be biased and should not affect anyone like by gender or discriminate someone's with their uh, different caste or like religion. So there might be the example like if it's we have a loan approval model and that actually discriminate by gender due to bias in the data which it was trained. So we cannot do that. The fairness should be applicable for all these categories, and the same like reliability and safety. If we have that creating the AI services, that should be reliable and safely, there is no chance of error, then we can do the some trial, and then we can get like if we are creating any autonomous vehicle experiencing, then or that vehicle fail, or that may accident and cause some collision. Obviously, that should we should consider before these principles before deploying the AI services. And third one is privacy and security. That's also important. Our data is very important. That should not be exposed to anywhere. Like there are some cases where the data is more important. Medical cases where if we are using any medical chatbot and that is trained with the sensitive information, that should not be stored insecurely. That should be stored in blob storage and with the private endpoint, or so that it cannot be go publicly or something like that. Inclusive net, that solution, whatever the solution we build, that solution should be applicable to everyone, should not be discriminate on the based of uh, individuals. So, if we are building any app, that should provide no audio output for visual impaired people. Like they can also use that services. So that's what it's whatever the services AI services we are creating, that consider all these seven parameters: inclusiveness, transparency, also like whatever the system we are building, that must be transparent. Like if we are using any financial tool and that recommends some that provides some recommendation of shares like up and down, and then if we have don't have any transparency on that, that is just on the fake data, then obviously it will not be reliable, and it will be untrusted system. So That's also important. And the last one is accountability. Like if we are creating any Azure AI services, who is accountable for that? Like who has built and deployed the services? The person should be accountable so that if there is any incident happen, like recently, I think you hope you are aware about the deep fake like images are getting published. So these kind of crime and evidence from the fake recognition can be like danger to that community, and so that we should follow all these uh, principle of the responsible AI. If we are deploying the AI services either anywhere, not on Azure platform, is applicable to all the platform in any environment or any models. These principles should be applicable. Let's move on to the next slide. Let's talk about what are the Azure AI services are available now. So Azure AI services, there are different type of Azure AI services are available. First is natural language processing. Second is knowledge mining and document intelligence. Third is computer vision and decision support. And the last one is generative AI. So I'll discuss on generative AI, the Azure OpenAI and Delhi models. And these are the Azure AI services which individually you can use it, like text analytics, question answering, language understanding, translation. These services are individually available, and that you can use for your application or API if you want to create something, if you want to add like face recognition in your app to recognize some faces, or you want to use the video analysis through computer vision or image analysis. These services are individually can be used, like speech services also. Translation also we can use it, like translate from any language to any language, that can be done. So today I'll discuss more about the Azure OpenAI and Delhi, because that is our agenda. Rest of the services, just want to just highlight what are the services are available in Azure. Uh, so if you want, like I'll create another session as well for Azure AI services separately. Let's move on to next slides. So I just want to tell about what is the actually pro architect for it and how this is processed Azure OpenAI with the RAG model. So we have deployed these. Let me use this laser points. So we have deployed these Azure OpenAI services, and the search and we are just adding this data source into Azure OpenAI services. So whenever user do the query, and this query goes to Azure Cognitive Services, and through that data source is indexed, and through that once it done, then it come to the Azure OpenAI services, and response will be provided to user through Azure OpenAI services. So it goes by that whenever the user do the query, it goes to the Azure search, then whatever the data we kept it, data source, it will check. Actually, Azure Search is actually do the indexing of the data. Whatever the data source we provide, it do the indexing of the data, and then and place the data accordingly. And once that is done, if the result is found, then it return to the Azure OpenAI, and then response will be sent it to the users. This is the all about the process of the RAG, how it work actually. I'll go in the demo as well so that we can have a look of that. Before provisioning the Azure AI services, OpenAI, we need to apply for access. There is a link, this link, through that you need to provide all your details. Once that detail to you provide to Microsoft with the subscription detail and everything, what is your requirement, then Microsoft will approve your access for Azure OpenAI. That is not available generally. You need to apply for the access, and once it is your request is approved, then you can able to create the Azure OpenAI resources in Azure portal. So I'll show you what is the form, how you can access that, and once you deploy the Azure OpenAI resources, you can access it via Azure OpenAI Studio. There's a site oai .azure.com, and through that you can view the different models. You can connect your own data, and there is a different session chat and completion with playgrounds. Through that you can use it, and you can do the fine tuning. You can use the filter as well, even the data file as well. You can add it. So let's move on to that. What are the generative AI models are available with the OpenAI? So the latest model is GPT-4. That is the newest model based on the language and code generation. Before that, we had GPT-3 as well, GPT 3.5 as well, Turbo as well. These are all for natural language and code generation models. And there is one daily model as well available, that is image generation model. There I'll show you where these models, there are some models are available in different regions. All models are not available in each region. So I'll show you where these models are available. The embedding model also, that is used for embedding a task, specific task. So that is also available in a specific region. So I'll discuss about that as well when I go with the demo. So I think we can move on to the deployment of Gen AI. Then I'll go through all the details. This is just a part of demo what I'll present. So I'm just removing the slides uh, and presenting the live demo of whatever we can use as a lab. So let me share my screen. Share my screen. Okay. Okay. So let me share my, hope you can see my screen. So I'll,
Looks good.
yeah, looks good. That's fine. So let me go through this. I'll move on. This is here. So actually, this is the form. How we can request access for Azure OpenAI services. This is actually a form. If you click the link is something mentioned here. This is the form. In this form, you need to provide your first name, last name, how many subscription you have, and then once you need to provide the answer of the subscription detail as well, subscription ID as well here, and then company ID and the company name, and the all the information whatever they have asked, phone number and other details like. And you need to provide which model actually you required access. So you need to specify the models, and after that you need to just acknowledge and provide the reason for what you have reason for using this OpenAI services, and then submit the request. Based on your submission, they will review and approve these request. Once it's approved, then you will be able to access the OpenAI services via portal. Let me show you that as well. So that if you go to here, that Azure OpenAI services, so that you can access. So let me go to how we can deploy, that is via Terraform. So I have written the code for, if it visible to you, like let me show you. So I have defined the latest version of the ASCII code, like Terraform. So and then I define the resource name, resource group, or what resource group that need to be created. And top of that, Azure AI search services, which is actually required for indexing. And these all parameters. If you want this repository just for your use cases, I have that available on my GitHub account. I will share that link as well, so that you can, if you want, you can also create the resources via Terraform. And this is the Azure OpenAI resource which I'm going to create. And deployment also models, which models I'm going to create, that I have also mentioned here, so that you can also deploy it, and what scale you are going to use. And a storage account actually required to store all these indexes file, where it kept actually those files, and the container as well. Uh, Here I have defined the variables. I'm going to deploy the GPT 3.5 Turbo version that actually help to create all our use cases. And I've defined these variables as well for resource group, the storage account, and container details, and the text as well, the AI services as well. And here just I define the values. So I already deploy these services. So what I'll do, I'll just put a text on it, so that we can create a new services, or just put a demo. Let me put a demo on it, so that it will create a mm, hyphen demo. Here also, let me create a demo. Here also, let me create a demo. Oh, demo. Demo. Then location is east to west. So there are some services are available in specific regions. So in east to west, everything is available. That's what I chosen, that east to west. If you want to know which services are available in which region, so you can just go through this link. I'll share this link as well, so you can see it is mentioned which region bots are, models are available. So you can just also check that. So let me go to code again. So what I'll do, I'll run the Terraform, because I already set my subscription. So I'll go through directly with the Terraform plan. Actually deleting, okay, containers, don't know. So actually, I've already deployed these services, so it's going to delete. If I'll create it again, it will take much time, but it's pretty simple. If you want to see what I have deployed so far, so let me show that as well. Terraform state list. So these are the resources I have deployed. I have deployed the Cognitive services, I've deployed the OpenAI model as well, resource group, Azure services as well, storage account and containers. These services are already deployed. So I don't want to delete right now. If I'll delete, then it will take much time. So I'm just moving because these are already deployed. Just want to show you how you can deploy these services. If you want the code, then I can share that code with you. So just move on directly to the portal. So if you'll go to here, let me go directly to that our uh, name of resource group. So this is the resource group RG OpenAI, and what we have deployed here, we have deployed the Azure search service, Azure OpenAI, and storage account. So these both are required when we will add the data services. So let's straightly jump into that Azure OpenAI services, which we are going to use, and using this with the using the external data source, we will use the platform as well. So it is open now. So to access, this is the resource just deploy. It has the key and endpoint. If we want to use the SDK and Python SDK to use these service in API, REST API, we can use this as well. I'll show you one example for that as well. Meanwhile, what I'll do, I can directly access the OpenAI via this Azure OpenAI Studio. So I'll just open the link. So once you open the Azure OpenAI Studio, you will see this message, welcome to the Azure OpenAI Studio. Or if you want to start with the like assistant playground or bring on data, so we will discuss about the bring on data. Before that, I'll just discuss about what I have deployed. So I'll just move on to the deployment part. So what I'll deploy, I deploy this OpenAI GPT 3.5 turbo models. And if I move on to that, what are the models are available? You can see the all the models are available. If we want to fine tune our this model as well, we can add some new set of data to fine tune this model. We can define some quota limit as well here uh, based on the token per minute. And this is the content filtering for responsible AI. We can define and create some customized content filtering like these content filtering are based on the hate, sexual and self-harm and violence. We can set the medium, high and low severity for it so that we will get similar kind of output from that model. Whenever we will input something, we will get accordingly the answer. Like we will not get, we put high, then we will not get any hate and sexual and self-harm or violence like contents. So it actually based on filter those severity. So that is part of the principle of responsible AI. So let's move on to that chat part, which is actually more interesting, and we'll discuss on it, and I'll discuss on Delhi as well. So let's move on to chat. Chat part is so this is actually the prompt. Starting chat. If you just want to put anything, you can put ask the question straightforward. And let me also discuss about what model I have deployed. This is showing just a model. And here is session settings. If we want to store some past messages, like I've asked the 10 query, it store the 10 query as well, past 10 query. So it will cap last part 10 query as well. If we want to increase, we can increase as well. And if we want to decrease, and we can decrease as well. Minimum is 1, and maximum is, I think, 20. So we can set it that as well. And here we can uh, mimic the model, like how the model should bug, like we want to mimic the model like default, or it's just bug like a marketing writing assistant or customer support or hiking. We can just put that some how this should be work, so we can just put that as well. Like if we are putting default, is it just a AI assistant that help people find the information. And if we'll this is example, these are few short example, like we need to provide the input and assistance as well, like whatever the input is there and assistant is there, same input. If we will ask the question and answer, we will get the same. So it just to mimic the specific answer in the model, like if we want to specific want that particular information to be generated, so that can be generated. Let's move on what actually is this session all about. Add your data. So if we'll go to the add your data, so I'll add that data source. There are different data source we can add it. So I'll just click on the add a data source, and there are different data sources available: Azure AI services, Azure Blob services, Azure DB for services, URL services, and uploaded file. These are some are preview services. So I'm going to use mm, I'll go through to 2, 3 data source models. So first of all, I'll use the URL and web address, and that I create also Azure AI services just to use that, and that blob storage as well to store the indexing name. I'm just mentioning what I'll do. I'm doing. I'm just putting the rackspace URL and giving the index name is rackspace. Hmm. So it actually whatever the HTML file are there, so it all collect all the file and store in that containers. So let me go back just a minute. I think I already have this one. So I think I'll create a 01, backspace 01. And save and close. So it actually processing the URLs, whatever I have given. So once it done, then meanwhile, I'll show you some of these URLs. Meanwhile, it's process the injection part. So I'll show you what it does actually. Already created that one actually. Uh, if we go to Azure AI search services, and if we go to the data source, we can see the data source 01 is getting created, and chunk is also getting created for that, and that indexing is happening right now, and that is stored in the blob storage. So let me go to blob storage as well, storage account, and I have stored here in the container rack space 01, right? So that is the one. It's actually creating a HTML file so that I'll ask the question and then it will answer my question as well. Meanwhile, it's creating the answers. What I'll do, I'll also deploy the uh, Dev app so that we can have a nice prompt. Chatbot hyphen RxD. Backspace. Let me select this and define the resource group as well. Resource group, it was OpenAI, RG OpenAI, and the location was East US, and the pricing, you can select basic one or free tier also, and enable the chat history. That also I'm just enabling and deploy it. So you can see now this is actually data is added. You can see all the file are added, should be added here. Let me refresh. See, you can see that lot of file are created. So we will ask the questions, this prompt. If you just we want to ask something, quickly describe about the the fair by space. Space. Let me ask this question. So it actually provide the information. Fair is the rack space stand for founding of AI by rack space. And actually it's also give the references where this information is stored. So if you click on this one, you can see these all the information are stored here. And this is also the information storage here. So it will show where the information you can get it. Yeah. Sam, if you want to know about what services are provided by Rackspace for the customers. If I'll ask this question as well, it will generate. So it's provide the details. Rackspace provide range of services for customer, including solutions, approach, insight, news, Rackspace technology. Their solution include Rackspace application. So these are all the services. And there are 5 references where the information was stored. It also shows that reference detail as well. And let me ask something different question. Who is the CEO of Rackspace? I don't think so. That information should be there. As the retrieval document, the current CEO information was not there. So it actually from the old document, it actually got the information. Then Joanne Manuel was that CEO of Prezia, who praised that the technology as a partner. So I think it has don't have the information about the current CEO details. So I feel I'll also want let me ask the question. What are the private cloud services is provided by Rackspace. Rackspace. So it's actually provide the Rackspace provide a range of private cloud services, just like private cloud and Rackspace private cloud powered by VMware and private cloud powered by OpenAI. So take these services offer dedicated single tenant environment. So and the cloud adoption migration. So these all services are provided by Rackspace. So these information actually is collect from these two HTML files. Let me check what others. Multi-cloud. Let me ask different question. Multi-cloud in Rackspace. So it's actually provide the information about the multi-cloud as well, hybrid and multi-cloud platform. Like Space offer these multi-cloud strategies. So it's we can let me see the deployment bay web is not yet created. So once it created, then I'll go through that as well. If you want, I can remove this data source. I can use some other data source as well, files and mm, let me, I think, this. I'm just waiting is to generate this. Then I'll go through the new data source. Meanwhile, it will get created. Then I'll ask some more questions, or, or I'll just show you some other parameters as well. So these all Azure OpenAI services pricing tiers are available here. Uh, like we have different models, and based on the input per tokens and output per tokens, the rate are mentioned here. So if you want to know the pricing, how it will be calculated, you can use the calculator as well for the pricing as well. And these the pricing is available. And even we can add the image different sources. Let me just go through this one, how this can be worked, like what are the prerequisites required for data. Like we need the subscription access to OpenAI. We can add the data source as well, and then we can define the Azure AI as blob storage files and image data, and upload the files as well. We can upload the files as well, so that we can use that as well. So this is all about that one. This is all about chat. If we want to ask something, so that we can ask. This is all about the limits, quota limits defined for Azure AI. How many open AI resources we can create, or how many daily resources we can create. So also let me. Meanwhile, it's I think it's not yet generated. Meanwhile, let's use the daily model as well. Meanwhile, it's getting created. So let me ask some question about the image. Okay. Then big win, big win, big win. So it's just has created the image. You can see this nice view. So through daily models, whatever the question you ask, it will create the image for you as well. So different kind of images it will actually generate. Well, let me see, is it done? I think yeah, it's created. So let me go through. Okay. No, not this one. I was here. Here. Okay. Yeah, right. Yes, maybe. This web app is still not completed. So what I'll do, I'll continue with here, and I'll show some uh, like Python SDK also through that what I have used and how we can create the different output as well. So just me go through it as well. Prompt injections, those shallow on data. So here I'm using these all our the files, PDF files, so that I'm generating this data. And here I have provided the Azure endpoint information, Azure keys, openAI models, search endpoint, and the search key, and the search index as well. So what I need to do, just go through this path, and we just type it pwd. This is, I think, the image generation. So it's actually generate the image. We want to get it the image for it. So no, let me go to this one. This is the one. Yeah, pwd. So okay, home. Let me ask some question about from it. So tell me the best portal in New York, because I'm using these all the PDF where it has the information about every city and their hotel details. Tell me the best hotel in New York. So it's actually getting the information. These are the hotel details is provided, and what services it has. It's also provide these all the details about the hotel as well. So through that, like is providing the New York detail as well, how the city information as well. So we can get through SDK as well. We can just put these parameters and we can get the output as well using this OpenAI endpoint and key, whatever endpoint and key have defined. That I capture from here. These are the key and endpoint I'm using from the OpenAI sources. Let me see if it is deployed. Yes, it's deployed now. So let me launch this web app. So actually a custom URL. So if you want to create a custom URL, also you can create a custom URL. You can define that uh, in the Bay web when the Bay web is get created. I think Bay web. Let me ask. Go to the Bay web app services. Here I've created this one, right? So this is actually actionable repository for creating it. If you want to modify as per our uh, requirement or display whatever we want to modify something, then we can modify as well. This one through external repository, and here's the deployment center is defined. We can change the code as well right here. We just remove this and then upload the code and update to the sync, and it will we can use changes, whatever the changes we want to make to change our display of HTML, that we can do it. And we can use the custom domain as well. We want to change it to different one as per our requirement. We can use that as well. And we can scale up, scale down all these web app services. We can use it for our web app URL. So it's actually is loading. It's taking much time. Not sure why. Today, that's what I thought to like use it, whatever this implemented. Getting some errors. Application. Let me talk about a different one. I think I have created this one as well. So if it's there, let me talk about this one as well. So you can see this one I've created, but it's because I haven't used this for rack space. So if I'll ask something, tell me about the London. Let me ask this question. It might answer or not. Let me see. Is it working? There is some issue with this, but actually the URL look like this. So it is not working. This one as well. So let me launch again if it's working. Meanwhile, just want to know if anybody have any question, you can ask, and then we can. Meanwhile, it is getting open the URL. It's just a Bay web, which actually not getting deployed, and actually it's taking much time. But if you want to see what it actually shows, the URL look like this one. This is kind of URL. You can just put the input and get the answer, like whatever that prompt I have generated here. Uh, this prompt will work like similar. Like here, we are using this prompt, right? So if we want to ask anything about the rack space, what are the services provided by rack space? So it will also provide those services name details. So it share all the data management, engineering, intelligence, powerful AI, machine learning. So these all, and these are the references. Actually, it's collecting the information. I think it will take much time. So I think we don't have much time to. uh, get it
You
completed, but it's similarly look like this URL. So,
you got an hour.
but yeah, thank you everyone for joining the call. If you have
You
any
still have an
question,
hour left.
okay, it's 2 hour actually. Okay,
Yep.
okay. Okay, okay, then it's good. Then I think let me share my screen. I thought this 1 hour only. Then we can have then it can be work, right? So it's actually creating some problem. So what I'll do, I'll use the existing one. Just a minute. This is creating some problem. I'll use different one, existing one, and this one. Will not use that one. I'll use this one and enable this one and deploy this one. It will be faster. This time it will be faster because I'm using the existing paper. It's taking bit of time. Let's let it get completed. Meanwhile, I'll discuss some of the bits about the how we can use the Python SDK to use the OpenAI. So I'll different have different labs. So let's talk about all the labs. Uh, Let me first define the parameters and the tokens. So in this one, I'll use I'm using this key. So here we require the endpoint and the key. These three things are minimum requirement to use that in API SDK. So here just need to provide the models and this is actually a Python code. So what it has actually. So I'm just importing these libraries and the Azure is actually importing the Azure OpenAI from the library, and then we are defining here the endpoint, and these are the sample text file which are stored here. Let me show through that we will generate we will ask the question and generate the prompt accordingly. And system the what is the role of this prompt is actually helpful for assistance, and the user input summarize the following text in 20 word or less, like it's in 20 words. So let me directly go here because the time is allowing, and so I can just go through it and then quickly run this Python file pyt, and then test. So what is the actually in sample text I have this complete sentence I have this long story about what is narrow and BKI, what is that in artificial intelligence. So it has long details about artificial intelligence. I have asked this to summarize that in 20 words. And that is I have mentioned here. If you can just see, summarize the following text in 20 word or less. So it is actually summarizing the text, whatever I have written in the text file. So the three types of the narrow and the big AI, general or strong AI and artificial intelligence, but only the first two currently exist. So this is all about this text analytics. Let's move on to the second one. If we can go through the prompt engineering and the engineering, how we can use the prompt. So this is all about. So here also, let me just to copy paste this one. I need to provide the keys as well. So you can see, so this is all about the code I have written and what it actually prompt to ask the question. So it will tell that as well. So let me just go to this one, open in terminal and just run the Python command. Prompt engineering. How we can use the prompt, that is all about actually. So I'm asking the question, what question? Basic prompt. How the basic prompt? Just click one. Uh, so it's actually giving the information. You are a AI assistants. Write the intro about for a new wildlife rescue. The user message and what answer I got. Welcome to our wildlife rescue. Our mission is to provide the safe and nurturing environment. So it's actually getting the output uh, for this prompt, whatever I have input. And if I'll choose is the second option, this one, prompt with email formatting and basic system message. So it actually mimic the same information and provide the email like, dear recipient, we are excited to introduce Confesso, uh, a new wildlife rescue organization. So it's using the Azure OpenAI, and based on that, it's actually fetching out the information, whatever we are giving the input. If we will ask the same things with that prompt with the formatting and specific content, then press 3. So we will get those details as well. So you can see we have the details about the animal and the species as well, and their how many animals on their details as well. So it actually provide all the information. It will place 4 as well. It actually generated some light and use some jokes as well while giving the information. So you can see here they have provided some information about species, and these are that animal are healthy and happy. These So these all inputs we can get it from using the different prompt. If we are using the prompt with a specific requirement, we can use those prompts as well. Yeah. Let me just get let me go again to the URL. Let me see if it's get created. Yes, the web is deployed, and now is prompt is created. So let me ask something. What services provided by this place? Let me see if it's on this. That's not good. Yes, yes. So you can see now it's actually uh, providing the information, and we have a very clear URL, and we have nice prompt as well, chatbot. If you want to change this Contesto logo or name, that you can also do. There is a GitHub URL. Through that URL, if you want to change something, that you can change from here, like title, you can put the Azure AI or something different you want to change it, then that changes you can make it from here as well, and that information you can update in Web portal as well. So those and if you want to ask any other question as well, it should answer all the question about the rack space. What is rack space? Onika, let me ask this. It's provide the information about the rack space Onika. What is actually what service is provided, subsidiary of rack space, and with the reference also. You can see the reference detail here also, the reference detail is providing. And if you want to let, I think this is all about. If, if you want, I can also show using a different source. Let me use a different source as well. Search engine. Page. Somehow it's working now. So let me remove this one. I'm removing the URL, like space URL. I'm using the different source, just giving this some files and then get the output based on that. Okay. So I'm removing this data. I'm adding different data, and I'm this time I'm adding the uploading files from my laptop so that it can use. So I'm just giving the information about the blob storage and subscription and Azure AI search. And this time I just put hotels details because it's all about the hotels information, and or travel desk. We can mention travel travel agent. Just mention the travel agent. And let me upload the files. All these files I'm uploading. Okay. It's actually it's uploading the files. Next, move on the next one. Now it's creating the search type with the chunk size. You can define the different chunk size as well for indexing, and then you can save and close. Now injection is progress. So it's actually indexing the data into Azure AI search, and that's also storing the value, that data into storage account. Like here, it's actually storing the data in this account, containers, and travel agent. I have mentioned the name of this one, travel agent. You can see, right? So here it's actually the file are stored. I think so it should be stored now. So it's no, it's just taking some time. So let me talk about the files. So what are the files I have? This is the travel company. Actually, so I have this information about the travel company. This is the New York browser where it all about the New York and New York hotel. This is San Francisco hotels and the San Francisco details. This is London browser where this has the hotel details and the London about the London as well. So I'll ask some question related to that as only. So let's just that completed. I think it's completed now. So let's move on to this one. Mhm. Tell me about London. Okay, so it's actually I need to deploy it again. Then it is not getting up deployed. So what I'll do, I'll deploy it again. Um, So I'm using this chatbot, this one. Let me deploy it. So it don't take much time because I have only the few files. So it will be faster. So I think it deploy now. Deployed or it's just getting deployed, yeah. So far, you have any question? Just want to know, like, if anybody have any question. Yeah, it's now deployed. So it will, I'll go here. Then we can ask about, tell me about London. Tell me about London. Let me ask this. Tell me about, tell me hotels. Tell me about hotels in London. Hotels in London. Let me ask this question. This information is not available. Let me ask this question here. Tell me, hotels in London. Okay. Yeah, it's actually generating the information based on whatever the files I uploaded. Uh, tell me about the way, tell me about New York, New York. Let me access it. So it is telling about the New York as well. So we can use different sources like whatever I used earlier, like URL or text file, PDF file. So what different file we can use it? We can use text file, PDF file for it, or we can use Azure AI search as well. and the blob storage as well to use the external data for, like, if you want to create a chatbot and where we have company data, and we company data that company data either stored in SQL DB or Cosmos DB, or either that data is stored on PDF files, or that data is stored in some blob storage. Through that data, we can create a chatbot for the users. They want to fetch up that they want to fetch up the information. They can fetch up those information easily with the help of this chatbot, the help of OpenAI, and that data which we have for the users. And it is nowadays very useful in each and every organization. We are pulling the information where we have a lot of information storing in the folder and particular file. So it actually collects the information from particular file and folder. So it is very helpful, and there are a lot of use cases for it. And obviously, if we want to play with it, you can play with it as well. I'll share the detail of my GitHub account so that you can play with it and have a uh, live experience and demo as well. That's it from my end for this session. If you have any question, you can ask. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jason, any question?
Doesn't look like it.
So can we close this session now?
Yep, I will stop the recording now.
Thank you.